What's up, everybody? Welcome to our UFC 295 bet show, where we're going to give you a fight for every. Sorry, we're going to give you a bet for every fight on the card. Can't wait for Saturday. Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. It's a great card. A-Train, you ready to rock?
Let's go, buddy.
Let's do it. All right, they changed up the order on us. First fight of the night, we got Denis Buzukja versus Jamal Emmers. Emmers is probably going to win this fight, but he's a decision machine. He wins by decision, and when he loses, it's by decision. Judges don't really love him. So you know what? I like the fight goes the distance minus 190. I mean, Emmers is already he's a pretty big favorite, I think, minus 334. So minus 190, better odds. And if you get screwed on the decision, you're covered both ways. It's the only way I'd play it. I don't really love the fight anyways. What do you think?
Personally, I looked this over and Emmers got this guy covered everywhere. Like I don't see anything Dennis Bazooka does better than him. So like he's not 330 anymore. It's funny. His odds tightened. He's minus 250 only, which is he's got all the paths to victory. Dennis Bazooka has none. He'll come out strong for half the fucking round and then it's over. But yeah, I like Emmers minus 250. I do. It's scary to bet on Jamal Emmers, but I do like it as a parlay piece. So like that's strictly parlay piece.
Yeah, sure. All right. Next fight of the night, we got Joshua Van versus Kevin Borjas. Joshua Van's coming in at minus two. Sorry, all my odds are opening odds. Joshua Van open minus 250, Borjas plus 200. So I do think Van's going to win minus 250. I don't like putting minus 250 on a young 22-year-old just for beating Zumagulus. It's not good enough for me. But Van over 1.5 plus 115. So that I can probably work with. So I'll probably stab a little play, Van over 1.5. But again, this is another fight that I don't really love. Don't really wouldn't go big on it. What do you like?
I like Van moneyline too. Actually, it tightened. It's only minus 220 now, so it tightened up a little bit. I think that Borges, he's good though. He's a good striker, so I feel like it's going to be slightly competitive in ways. But you know that UFC experience from that first fight is going to really hold true. I think. Plus, I think Van, like, he looks like the real deal. Like, he's got all the skills to become something here. And maybe, Zalgis. So what was the biggest knock on Zalgis? Like, he loses split decisions, close game, like, you know what I mean? That was the last one was a split decision with Van, but like he lost the fight. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't close, right, bro? So like, yeah, man, that's cool. I'm gonna go with Joshua Van, sorry, money line. Parlay him and Emmers to start the card. Probably get some plus money. I like your 1.5 though to get it to plus odds. That's pretty safe. I do think it's a decision because Borges, I think he's tough kid, like very tough. So
Yeah, and I mean Zalgas there or whatever, like that fight went the distance. I think Borges is a tougher fight. The kid can strike, man. So he's fighting a
tough,
better
though.
striker.
Yeah, better striker, way better striker. Durability, it looks good on tape, durability wise, but you know that he is winning most of those fights, and he could be a prolific striker. But Van, he really showed durability in that fight because he got cracked a couple times and just like walked right through it, basically.
Yep. All right, next fight of the night, we got Young Ho Kang versus John Castaneda. Kang coming in at plus 130, Castaneda minus 160. Those were the opening odds. I believe it tightened a little bit, and I think it tightened for good reason. I always like the dog here. I don't like Castaneda. I think if you're on the Castaneda side, you're taking Castaneda and over because he's a grinder. He's going to try to hold him down for the 3 rounds, but I'm not on that side. I'm on the Kang side. It's a more exciting fighter. I think he has more ways to win. And because he's the underdog, the money line's good enough. I don't need any props. He's already plus money. Give me the underdog for plus money. Money line's fine. What do you think?
He's a little low volume sometimes there, and Castaneda though on the other side is the little low volume as well. So could go for a lulling fight. So yeah, I like the overs in this fight. To be honest, don't let Kang's last fight fool you, where the submission first round. Quinones was a debut fighter, right? Castaneda's he's seasoned, right? So, and the only other time I think he got finished was like when he death gassed after trying to wrestle too much. You think he's gonna wrestle too much here? I don't know. Kang, he has the only problem with Kang is that he has some questionable IQ in a lot of his fights, and that's why I like the overs a little bit more. Like you said in the last fight, save yourself the trouble and just go with the overs. You don't even have to get the winner right. But yeah, man, I like the money line on the dog. There's a few live dogs, and I think this is one of them.
Yep. All right, next fight of the night, we got Jared Gordon opened up at minus 175 versus Mark Madsen opened up at plus 150. I think the odds actually widened. If I'm correct, I think the odds have widened. And I mean, probably reasonably so. Mark Madsen hasn't looked good at all. Even his wrestling doesn't look phenomenal for this Olympic wrestler or national level wrestler. Doesn't look that great. He kind of gasses. He's kind of one dimensional. So I do like Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon's boring as hell though. So I like Jared Gordon over 1.5, brings you to minus 110. I think that's as good as you're getting. Gordon's not some quick finisher. Gordon over 1.5 minus 110. That's all I see. What do you see?
I see this going to the decision. Both guys, you know, also though, I think Mark's a little liver than people give him for, because Jared, what is he? He starts really slow usually. He's a slow starter. Madsen can bank that first round on a takedown. Maybe he banks the second round, and then he does his usual death gas thing in the third. Yeah, it's a tough fight. I think the overall length of the fight's going to be more of a grinding pace, really slow. So we don't have to worry about. So none of these guys are going to prolifically finish each other, right? So yeah, grind it out. I think minus 190 is the over. I think it's pretty safe if you want to just go over 2.5. It's a minus 225, which is pretty safe. These are all parlay pieces. That's what I think, right? So,
all right. Next fight of the night. I think this is a fun one. We got Nazim Sadykhov versus Vyacheslav Borshchev. Prospect versus prospect. Two great fighters. Honestly, two good fighters. Going to answer a lot of questions. And it's the classic grappler versus striker, except Sadykhov really doesn't shoot that much. I mean, he has good grappling, but he's not someone that's going to always go to it and use it. So there's a clear path for both guys. This fight, I actually find myself going back and forth on. I'm still going to side with the striker just because I like him. I like Borshchev. I want him to win. So I'm going to side with him for the plus money underdog. But this fight could go either way. I would not make this a big piece. There's not a big confidence here. I'm just going to root for the striker. What do you think?
I mean, you'll know right away if he doesn't go for any takedowns, he's going to lose, man. Like this becomes a kickboxing match. And sorry, but watching this tape from when we filmed last time to now, Sadykhov's not a wrestle pusher. He does train with those guys. What happened, like Marab and Aljo, and what happens when those guys just can't strike with you? They take you down. Like this guy doesn't. His IQ he doesn't just take you down. Like he's not like you think he's just all of a sudden going to change and just start becoming this crazy wrestler all of a sudden. I don't know. And let's put it this way. I said this before last time too. Borshchev has been taken down a shit ton over his last 3 fights, but he's gotten up. I think it was like 23. He's gotten up 23 or 24 times or some shit like that. The amount of times he gets taken down, the number's only that large because the man keeps getting back up. So every time this is on the feed, I don't think Sadykhov has anything for Borshchev. So I like the dog. I like the dog by KO plus 260. Plus 260 is not that great in the sense that I would love plus 300 on that KO. But like that's like 3/4 of his win equity there, right? He can win a decision, but that's if Sadykhov's chin's like, I don't know. It's never been tested. I don't think it'll be tested like this before, right? So I do like the under in this at minus 190 as well. I do think this finishes. Either Sadykhov's going to sub him because that's a possibility, or he's going to get knocked out by Slavoclaws. I like Slavoclaws though. I do like his technique. It's actually really good. So,
yep, I agree. All right, next fight of the night. This was just added to the card. Wasn't in our previous video. I'm sorry, I don't even really have proper artwork for it. So let's get right to the point. Mateus Rebecki coming in minus 700, huge favorite versus Roosevelt Roberts plus 500. No one's parlaying or betting minus 700 on a late last minute fight. It's stupid. But Rebecki to finish minus 170, that's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. So to me, it's pass or Rebecki to finish minus 170. You see anything different?
It's tough to figure out what Rebecki's going to do against Nick Fiore. He like took his time and just like, rode it out. And then his last fight, forgot who it was. He just went right after him because I had start round 2. And I don't even think it started round 2. I thought it was going to go to round 2 for fuck's sakes. But anyway, yeah. So you don't know which one's going to come out. He's too, he's going to win though. That much he's going to win. I mean, Roosevelt Roberts has shown before that he's holes in his game. And the holes in his game is on the ground. So he's a pretty decent striker. So, Rebecki anywhere. I think Rebecki by sub plus 225. That's my official pay on this fucking one.
He's got heavy hands too for like that
Yeah, but
plotting.
don't you see the club and sub? I see club and sub happening. I see the knockout happening. But Roosevelt Roberts has been known to be subbed, right? So why not? This guy, I think he loses this fight like 9.7 times out of 10. Like 3/4 of a body of Rebecki should beat him, right? So like,
yeah, true. All right. Next fight of the night, we got Tabitha Ricci versus Lupita Godinez. Sorry, my eyes are shot looking at the screen here. Sorry. Tabitha Ricci plus 130. And then we got Loopy coming in at minus 160. Those are opening odds, not positive where they are today. I do like Loopy to get this done. Usually the play is Loopy by decision, but in her last fight, she fucking came out and banged it out and looked great. Her hands are looking better all the time. And Ricci's tough, so I feel like Ricci can hang in there. But I like the Loopy over 1.5, brings you to minus 110. Is it amazing? Not really. But I do think the fight goes 1.5 rounds, and I do think Loopy wins it. So Loopy over 1.5 for minus 110. You see anything different? What do you like?
Loopy by decision is plus 110, so the value is just not even that much. So like 20 points more, right? But yeah, I mean, like, so what's the golden rule here? It's like always been like, Loopy, why don't you wrestle? Loopy, why don't you wrestle? This one will be like, Loopy, don't wrestle. Loopy, don't wrestle, right? Because Tabitha Ricci's only way to win this fight is on the ground. I feel like the striking has nothing for Loopy. Loopy is way better technically. So now, like, Tabitha's tough. Like, the only person to ever finish her was Manon Fiorot. Does Loopy carry that power? I don't think so. The fights she finishes, she usually subs the person, right? So that subs off the table here. So Loopy by decision, Loopy over 1.5, whatever, which way you want to play it. I hate women's locks, but like, this is like one of my stronger leans. I'm going to have Loopy a lot somewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure, definitely. I mean, the way she's progressing, I can't. I've been a Loopy hater, but the way she's
I'm a Ricci lover, right? So like, so like this is tough for me, but like, they call a spade a spade. You gotta break these down with your head, not with your heart. Love Tabitha Ricci's made me tons of cash, tons of money. We cash on her all the time. I tell you, oh, Tabitha Ricci, oh, you're like, are you sure? I'm like, well, she can get. Like her game is get the person to the ground. If she can get the other person to the ground, she's probably going to win. She got serviceable striking, you know what I mean, but nothing great. Loopy striking looked pretty damn good in that Elise Reed fight. Then the ground game looked to boot, right? But no one wants to stand up with Elise Reed anyway, right? Because she'll crack, right? So this is the opposite. So that's why I feel like Tabitha stays in there.
All right, and that brings us to the last prelim on the card. Great fight. We got Steve Erceg versus Alessandro Costa or Costa. Great fight. Honestly, wicked fight. Looking forward to it. I like them both, but I'm big on Erceg. I think Costa hits hard. Sure, he's always going to be live for a knockout, but I don't think he's going to knock out Erceg. So I think Erceg's size, his length, his volume, his great grappling as well. Like I think that'll probably cancel each other out for the most part. But I think Erceg gets this done, most likely in some kind of over. But honestly, his money line when it opened at minus 150, that's good enough for me. I feel good about Erceg minus 150. Not sure where he's sitting right now. What do you think?
I do like the overs in this fight too. I do like the over, but like Erceg's live for a finish because Costa is known could probably gas too as well, right? But Costa's low volume, so it's a low. First half of this fight's going to be pretty low volume. Erceg's too durable, I think, but Costa has a chance. I feel like this fight can go either way with Erceg with the more well-rounded game, more ways to win, right? He's a better striker. What Costa has in the striking is the power and the leg kicks, but overall, like you said, he has the length and the technique, and he has the chin. And Costa has been put out before, albeit by Almir Albazi, who's a pretty good fighter, but he's not really known for his hands. He's really known for his ground game, right? So, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, it was an off finish for Albazi. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Erceg. I think he grinds this one out. I think it's gonna be a tough fight, and I think for over the first half of the fight that our buddy Costa is gonna be live there.
Yeah. All right, guys, that brings us to our main card. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We appreciate it. And to kick things off, we got a great fight here. First fight of the main card. We got Pat Sabatini versus Diego Lopes, or Lopez. I believe it's just Lopes. The odds here, what do we got here? We got...
Pretty much a pick 'em. Plus 100, minus 125.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Lopes is a slight underdog, and I like Lopes. I think he's the finisher here. I think he's the flashier fighter. I think he's the tougher guy for sure. I think the only way Sabatini wins this is by using his superior wrestling. And he does have superior wrestling, and he can grind this out. But I don't think he's going to sub Lopes. I don't think he's going to knock out Lopes. And yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. I'm riding with Lopes. I'm riding with Lopes to finish the fight because that's what he does. He's a finisher. I'm going to take the dog for the finish. Plus 175. I know you're against me. Most people will call me crazy. I like this kid. I think he's durable as hell, and he finishes fights. He's flashy. He's almost like a Charles Oliveira, but with better chin or something like that. Give me Diego Lopes to finish. Plus 175. And what do you got?
That's it. Plus 175. That's all it is.
I know you're.
But just take. Okay, that's fine. Like, go on whatever side you go on. That's not a problem. So he's not going to sub Sabatini. So he can only, if he's going to finish, he's going to knock him out. Knockouts plus 450. There's zero chance he subs Sabatini. Like,
really?
Zero. No, not a chance. Not a chance. Because one, he's not taking him down, and he ain't gonna sub. He won't sub this guy from the bottom. This guy's like a gazillion black belt. Like, there's
but is he that good?
Yeah, man. He's not gonna sub him. I swear to God. If there's a finish, he'll knock him out. He's got better hands. And Sabatini gets knocked out. He's finished every time. Damon Jackson knocked him out. Damon Jackson's a really good ground fighter, but knocked him out. The way to get to Sabatini is to fucking punch him in the face. So I'm on the Sabatini by decision side plus 275 because I agree with you that Lopes is very durable. He showed that he throws. Problem is he likes to sit and freaking guard all the time, right? My issue is he shows not enough. What's the word I'm looking for? Can't get to my head. He doesn't want to get up. Urgency. That's it. He doesn't show any urgency to get up. You can't play guard. You can't play in the guard game with a guy that has such good control on the ground, right? So I don't mind your play, but if I was going to play it by finish, I was going to play the plus 450 and get like 300 more points on that personally. But I like the plus 275 on the Sabatini side. So what the hell? I might play both sides.
Honestly, man, your bet is actually a great bet too. Is better value because I'm telling you, Sabatini is not going to finish him. So if Sabatini wins, and he can, it's by holding him down for 3 rounds. So definitely play the
I completely agree. And if Lopes is going to win, he's not subbing Sabatini. He's going to fucking either finish him or, his decision is plus 500. If this was in Brazil, like, what are they like? I've noticed in the last few fights that they like fighting from the bottom is getting you more notoriety than ever before in MMA, right? So fighting from the bottom, just because the guys that just don't do anything on top. So Sabatini, let's put it this way: he's better start moving around and moving positions. Can't just sit there. He's gonna have to throw some punches because Lopez can definitely win from the bottom. I ain't gonna lie. This fight's 50-50.
It's a good fight. Honestly, I like it. A lot of people, casuals, are gonna be like, "What's this doing on the main card?" I think it's a good fight.
That's good. It's good to open it up with.
All right, and the next one, my favorite fight of the night. I mean, maybe not the favorite, but I'm telling you, guys, this is a fucking banger. Make sure you're on the couch. It's probably going to be a first-round knockout. We got Matt Frevola, Steamroller, versus Benoit Saint Denis, absolute madman. So you got two maniacs, just like to throw down, like to throw bombs. I'm expecting someone to go down. Everybody's on Benoit Saint Denis, and you know what? I am too. For the most part, I think he's going to win, except I do give Matt Frevola a chance. The guy hits hard as hell. He's got 3 first-round knockouts in a row. He's finally coming into his own. He's still a fucking dangerous guy, man. Eventually, Benoit's chin's going to go out. Eventually. I don't know if it's going to be here, but you can only get in those crazy fights for so long before it catches up to you. So for that reason, you got Benoit Saint Denis minus 225, Frevola plus 187. And I think they both have a chance here. I like the under 1.5. It covers both sides, minus 150. So you're getting better odds than betting Benoit Saint Denis, and you're still covering that chance Frevola knocks him out. I don't know. These guys, I just don't see this fight lasting long. and maybe that has all the makings for a drawn out fight, but I don't think so. Frevola's gone 3 first-round fights in a row, or 4 in a row. Benoit Saint Denis, a couple. No, under 1.5 is my play. What do you see?
I like Benoit because the durability showed in that Dos Santos fight is what really makes me. Frevola comes right out at you and he gets right in your face. He's gonna punch your face off. And I know Benoit knows that. And so did Dos Santos. He had Benoit hurt really bad in that fight. And he showed that durability, and that was a weight class up. So that's the only reason I side with Benoit on the minus 225. Not that I don't think Frevola can win or not. I do think he can. Only bet I have for this one is either you take the Benoit money line and parlay it, which is, I don't know. That's not something I'm going to do. But Benoit by submission is plus 300. You said knockout. I think I see more of a club and sub on the Benoit part. Or Frevola comes out and punches him, and then Benoit gets down and gets it on the ground. Frevola can be taken down, but he does scurry to his feet well enough. So that's why I think. So I think he gets caught on the ground. Submission's the only thing I'll play. And if I'm having a good night, I'll play that. If not, I'm just going to skip this fight.
All right. Moving on to the featured fight, we got Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. Jessica Andrade coming in at plus 170, Dern minus 200. I mean, when I look at this fight, I see Mackenzie Dern probably winning everywhere. Like, the fact is, like, even if she wasn't getting the better on the feet, I think she's got the better gas tank, and I think she's more durable. Like, she's not chinny, so I don't think Andrade is going to land that big haymaker and knock her out like she's done sometimes in the past or whatever. Like, I just don't see it happening. I think all the momentum's going Dern's way. Andrade is kind of on the decline here. So the first thing that pops in your head is going to go Dern submission. It's plus 140. You're like, Dern under 2.5, plus 120. But it covers both sides with the knockout. I don't think she's really going to knock her out. So, I mean, those are the two plays I'm looking at. Dern under 2.5 or Dern at submission plus 140. I'm trying to find some way to play this. Do you see anything different? How do you play this?
Submission decisions minus 135. I don't like that. I don't think she's going to knock her out. Decision it's tough for me to see a decision, but Andrade, aside from so decisions possible, right? So hear me out on this one. Mackenzie Dern plus 400 on the decision. Jessica Andrade is plus 400 on the decision. So everyone's like, oh, take her down. Like, Mackenzie Dern's takedown accuracy is fucking 15%. It's god awful. And like, Andrade, I know she can get taken down, but it's by good wrestlers that she gets taken down, right? So, and what's happened in the last fight is that she's losing the striking exchanges. So, I don't know. If she subs her, it's going to be more of a club and sub rather than her working on the ground for a whole round or anything like that. I personally see volume on the Mackenzie Dern side. Andrade maybe guts this one out. Mackenzie Dern wins a decision. I like her in the money line really a lot. That leaves nothing for like anything. So I'm gonna I have a parlay made up with her and Loopy. I don't know if I'm gonna add anything else. Maybe the over 1.5 for Loopy on that one. So maybe Loopy plus 1.5 Dern. But that's my parlay of the. But I might sprinkle plus 400. I don't know how she gets. Does she get Andrade down? Is the only thing. I don't think she knocks her out. But hey, Xiaonan knocked her out, and Xiaonan and Mackenzie Dern went to a pretty good decision there because it was pretty 50-50. Jan taking that one, but nobody would have argued if Mackenzie Dern won that fight against Xiaonan. So. This tough choice. I do like her money line, and I think her money line is very parlayable. And anyone that says that she should lose to Andrade because of like the people she's fought, she was winning fights up until the Lauren Murphy fight way up the beginning of this year. She was winning. She killed Lauren Murphy like early, was that January, February? And she goes on to lose his four fights in like devastating fashion in some of those fights. Like, you see fighters' wills to fight go away, and she just looks like she's collecting. At this point, it's like you're gonna fight 6 times a year. You're collecting a paycheck because you're gonna try to fight one more time. I don't know, but I'm sure she's fighting at like February or March. She knows her time's up. I think. I just that's the way I feel. That's the way she's fighting. I'm not taking anything back from her record. It doesn't matter. People bring up that shit from 5 years ago. Who cares? The fight's now.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, guys, we got a wicked co-main, a wicked main, and this is what it's all about. Co-main event for the UFC interim heavyweight championship of the world. While John Jones is gone, don't think he's coming back personally, but whatever. These two guys are deserving. To me, the winner of this fight is a real champion regardless. We got Sergey Pavlovich, 18-1, -110. Tom Aspinall, 13-3, -110. Dead even pick 'em now. And I get it. They both have a path to victory. If Tom can get him down, of course Tom's got the better ground game. I'm going to say Tom doesn't get him down. I'm going to say Pavlovich does what Pavlovich does, and that's going to be score an early knockout. And I actually don't like the things Tom's been saying in the interviews. I was flipping back and forth all week. I was like, you know what? Tom can do it. He can do it. And he can. Like, there's a path. But I don't like his interviews this week. He's starting to say, I'm fighting the scariest guy, and I don't have a proper camp. I'm doing it on 2 weeks' notice. Like, don't bring that shit up. Like, the fact that that's even in your head makes me, I don't know. I don't know. Something's changed in the last day or two that I actually feel more confident on Sergey now more than ever. You're not going to really find any good props here because the whole world knows what he does. He wins by knockout. So you got -110. Knockout is like +110 or something like that. Or you can take him to win under 2.5 was the best I saw, +137. A Pavlovich knockout under 2.5, +137. Give me that because I don't think the fight's going 2.5 rounds, and I think he wins by knockout. What do you see here?
I echo your sentiments on this one. The only thing is I got into a pretty decent conversation with someone today about it, and they keep bringing up, he got taken down by Overeem and then tapped out really quickly. Tom's got a better ground game, blah blah blah. He took down Volkov and tapped him so easily, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, yes, these are all true. And I'm like, well, Volkov has no ground game. And she's like, oh, well, personally, if they didn't have no ground game, then how come he didn't get tapped by Verdum? How come he didn't get tapped by Blades or finished by Blades? Because Blades took him like 13 to 14 times that fight. So I was like, listen, a prime fighter versus a guy that's coming out of his prime. Tom Aspinall fought Volkov 10 years after he started his career, maybe 12. Volkov's not in his prime. He's actually on his way out. He's just a decent fighter, right? And that fight against Arlovsky, I watched it. Man, you can see that he's getting tired at the end of the first round, man. Like, really, it bothered me that he was getting so tired. And if Andre didn't fall into that rear naked choke, how do you know how that fight even goes, right? And looking back at Pavlovich has been 5 rounds in lower promotions and won a decision. He's been 3 rounds. He's been 3 rounds on more than one occasion.
Can I say one? Sorry, I don't want to cut your trip. They have 35 fights combined. 29 of them have ended in the first round. 29 out of 35 fights.
So 29, and only one of those is Tom's. So who's got the durability? Who's got the little durability more is Pavlovich. Who's got a little bit more credibility if the fight somehow goes a little bit farther? Pavlovich. And honest to God, I know his fights are all been 1 round. Have you seen him kind of gas at all? No, he looks very focused in there. The Overeem fight, you can chalk it up to UFC jitters. You can chalk it up to being a debutante. You can also chalk it up to being him a young fighter. This happened in 2018. We're in 2023, folks. Something that happened 5 years ago has no bearing on the fight that's going to happen now. This guy's a young heavyweight at 31. He's making all the improvements in a roll. I don't see Tom Aspinall taking it down. He's got the better boxing, and he's got the better grappling, but grappling needs wrestling. And let's go. I can go through the list of Tom's guys: Bodo, Collier, Tybura. Not one of them is a power puncher. He's never felt a power puncher. Like, legit, he's never fought the Derek Lewis's. He's never fought a power puncher. Not that he wouldn't beat Derek Lewis's, don't get me wrong, but I really like Pavlovich as the week has gone by. Watching his tape, watching Tom, and now that you told me about this interview, I'm going to watch that interview.
And the Overeem thing, so I was getting into a discussion. There's some guys in the Sherdog betting forums that bet a lot of money, fucking good guys. I've known them for years. And they kept going. Like, Sergey's loss to Overeem it was a strange off-balance trip. It wasn't like a shooting a double. It wasn't some power takedown. It was a strange trip. I think Sergey's going to be okay. He does have a huge Sambo background that a lot of people don't know about. So I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be able to defend that takedown, and he's going to hit too hard. That's what I think.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I feel like when we break these things down every week, like things that happened 5 years ago don't have any bearing. Guys have rematches from 5 years ago and they lose the rematch, right? So it happens, right? Like if unless it happened a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I don't think it has any bearing on the guy.
Yep. All right, and that brings us to our another banger of a main event. We got Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the vacant light heavyweight championship of the world. Winner will face Jamal Hill after. And guys, this fight is a fucking coin flip, man. If anyone says they're super confident, I don't believe you. Like, you can't tell me Yuri can't knock Alex out. Yes, he can. You can't tell me Alex can't knock out Yuri. Yes, he can. These two guys can both knock each other out. I don't care how good Alex's credentials are. I love Alex. Anyone who knows me knows I love Alex, but I also love Yuri. It sucks that one of these two has to lose because I really like both these guys. They're both warriors. They're both exciting. I can't wait for it. We got Yuri coming in at plus 110. We got Alex minus 138. Alex, probably the technical guy. I think Yuri's the better durability, I think. But when I see this fight, when I'm looking at the props today, you know what? And because I don't love one of them either, I do love one of them. I love both of them. I don't want one of them to lose is basically what I should have said. I'm going to go under 2.5 minus 180. I think somebody's going to go down early. Like maybe not first round, but I think, yeah, maybe first round, first or second round. I think someone's going down. So give me under 2.5 for minus 180. Like it's almost as good odds as you're getting on Alex. You're covering both sides. You're just hoping someone goes down. I don't know. That's all I'm going for because I like them both. I don't want to root against one of them. What do you think?
I know it was on Yuri, but I've started to like Alex a little bit more as the week has gone by. I've really been looking at a little bit. He does throw a little bit more volume, and he's a lot more technical. And I didn't notice how hittable Yuri really was. Like he gets hit, and honestly, he didn't look amazing against Dominic Cruz until he looked amazing against not Dominic Cruz, Dominic Reyes. He didn't look amazing against Reyes until he looked amazing against Reyes because he was winning that fight, but he wasn't doing what you should do to like a Dominic Reyes at that point in his career, like what Jan Blachowicz did to Dominic Reyes at that point of his career. Like, you know what I mean? Dominic Reyes just had a great fight with John Jones, fought Blachowicz, and Blachowicz just tore him up against Yuri until he did the spinning back, whatever. Elbow or fuck, it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was freaking amazing. It was great. And I had Yuri bet all day. I like Yuri. I like Alex, but Alex, it's tough.
The thing with Yuri is his fucking pressure and pace. That's what won him the Dominic Reyes fight. Dominic Reyes was tiring it out, just couldn't deal with that fucking pace. He just kept coming forward. But two things stood out to me about Yuri too. He plods forward big time with his lead leg way out in front. Alex
the leg kicks, right?
He leans forward. He leans forward with his face and with his lead leg. So you're asking for a hook. You're asking for the leg kick, but it's that relentless pressure. So it's all about if the pressure will get to Alex first or if he's going to get hit first.
I don't know, man. Do you think the pressure fighting makes Alex fight better? Like Sean Strickland pressure fighted him. Look what happened to him, right? So Yuri comes after him he's pinpoint, right? So that's why I feel like you're right with the Yuri pressure coming after him, but he gets hit so much that Alex being so pinpoint and does carry power, it might just be a longer Sean Strickland fight with a better fighter than Sean Strickland was when Alex fought him. Just the type of fight. I'm not saying the type of fighter, but you know what I mean? Just Yuri comes there bending down low, and then he's gonna come right a boom boom. He throws a lot of naked stuff too, right? I do think the leg kick, the high kick's open too, right? So I feel like Alex stays on balance. He should win this. He's the better striker overall. I'm not
sure.
What's that?
Durability? I don't know.
I don't know either one of them. I've seen both of them get knocked out, right? So mind you, one isn't risen, but Yuri's before UFC, and he doesn't fight that often. So Yuri's before Risen fights. I don't know. That's 10-minute round, right? So like,
And
just
when he
go at
lost to
it.
King, when he lost to King Mo by knockout, it was his second fight of the night too. He had fought twice that night.
Yeah, it was an overhand right anyway, right? So whatever. I mean, it happens. But Alex is cleaner, and I feel like so. I was before we go. I was just like looking into it. Alex does train McGlover. Like, who better to like go up and put a game plan together for Yuri than the guy that just fought him, right? And the layoff has got to mean something for Yuri's timing, right? So he's such a timing fighter. So he's gonna plot for it. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna get hit, but he might not have Alex's timing, and seems like a recipe for disaster. I was on Erie, like, but it seems like a recipe for disaster once I looked at it a little bit more. My official pick is going to be Alex, but there's no way this is going to decision. I'm just going to take the minus 125 and just run with it. I don't have a prop for this, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, like sometimes I know it's the main event. Usually the main event, you're fucking liquored up. You want to fucking make it more exciting and throw all kinds of crazy money on it. I do it all the time. Every weekend, I'm messaging A-Train. I'm fucking buzzed up here. What am I?
What's
what
the
am
play?
I
What's the play?
what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, like make your bets, whatever, but enjoy this fight. Don't take anybody as super confident in this fight. They both can sleep each other. They're both fucking warriors. I love both these guys. If somebody loses first punch of the fight, it doesn't mean they were overrated. It doesn't mean they were exposed. They're just two warriors that came to fucking fight it out like men. And respect to both of them. May the better man win.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you Sunday for the next card, and I hope you all smash.